If you've been studying Japanese and you want to be able to talk about a wider variety of topics not covered in class or textbooks, this video may be for you. Today, we're talking about the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We'll learn some important vocabulary, take a look at 3 different article titles, and after that, we'll look at one paragraph from one of the articles in a bit more detail. The purpose of today's video is to empower you as a Japanese language learner to widen your scope of conversation and understanding so that when you speak with friends, when you watch Japanese TV shows, or read the news in Japanese, you feel better equipped to handle important topics not covered in classrooms and study materials. Hi! If you don't already know me, my name is Sachi. I am a bicultural, biracial, and bilingual Japanese language teacher and translator. I work primarily with professionals and academics to level up their Japanese language skills, mainly through pronunciation and pitch accent and business Japanese. I also translate in the areas of koseki, or Japanese family registries, and disaster science. Welcome to the first installment of Let's Talk About It in Japanese. 皆さん、こんにちは。Kokoro Communications のサチです。今回の動画は新シリーズ日本語でも話そうの第1回目です。このシリーズでは教材には含まれていない社会や政治に関するトピックを取り上げて日本語学習者さんにご紹介するものです。Before we get into it, I'd like to clarify that this is a very serious topic and should be handled with care. That being said, in order to stay focused on learning and the fact that I strongly believe that learning should be seen as a positive thing, you will see me smile throughout this video. If you want to practice out loud, if you need repetition, or you want to shadow, please feel free to pause the video and rewatch any section that you'd like to. At the end, please share your feedback in the comments. I'd love to know if you found this video to be a helpful step toward expanding your ability to communicate in Japanese on topics that your textbooks may not include. Are you ready to get started? では早速始めましょう。Let's begin by going over some important vocabulary. Some of the words we're about to look at you may already know, some you may not know. The only 2 cities in the world that have had atomic bombs dropped on them are Hiroshima and Nagasaki. If you'd like your pronunciation of these 2 places to sound natural and native-like, use these pitch accent guides to help you. Hiroshima is a heiban word and Nagasaki is a nakadaka word. So you'll notice that Hiroshima, the hi is a lower pitch sound and Roshima is a higher pitch sound and it stays high. Hiroshima. And Nagasaki, na begins low, ga is higher, and then for saki, it's back low again. Nagasaki. Atomic bomb is genshi bakudan. Because it's a longer word, it's often shortened to genbaku. Kinenbi is anniversary or Memorial Day. Hibakusha is a bomb victim. Koisho is after effects. Kakuheiki is nuclear weapon or nuclear arms. 第二次世界大戦 is World War II. 命を失う means to lose life or lose lives. 亡くなる is to pass away. 原爆投下 and 原爆を落とす are 2 different ways of saying drop a bomb or the dropping of a bomb. 爆心地 is the hypocenter or ground zero of the explosion. It's not a thorough list, of course, but these are some commonly used words when talking or reading about this topic. Let's now look at 3 news article titles. The first one is from Asahi. 原爆のことを知っていますか？深く学ぶための Q&A. If 原爆 is the only new word for you here, you may already know that this means, do you know about the atomic bomb? Q&A for deeper learning. If you decide to check out this article and read more, you'll see that this is part of the Q&A series by Asahi, written for elementary school students to learn about different topics. If you'd like to check it out, you'll find this link and all others down below. Let's try another article, this one from Yomiuri. Written for adults, you can see right away that this title is much longer and more complex. 長崎原爆の日、77年。被爆者らが平和への祈り。市長、核兵器使用は杞憂ではなく今ある危機。So one more time, that is 長崎原爆の日77年。被爆者らが平和への祈り。市長、核兵器使用は杞憂ではなく今ある危機。 Given the words we just learned, and perhaps a couple of other checks with the dictionary, your understanding of this title should be Nagasaki's Atomic Bomb Day. 77 years after the bombing, survivors pray for peace. Mayor says, the use of nuclear weapons is not a baseless concern, but a crisis today. Let's look at one last article title, this one from Web Japan. You can tell by the simplicity of the title and the yomigana that this is written for children. The title is 原爆の日と終戦記念日, which means Atomic Bomb Day and the anniversary of the end of the war. 原爆の日, which we have seen in the second and third article titles, could also be translated as the day of the atomic bombing. Let's stay on this last article and read the first paragraph together. Especially if there are a lot of new words for you, I hope that having the yomigana will be helpful. Let's read through it. 広島と長崎の両方の爆心地は平和記念公園になっています。それぞれ8月6日と9日に原子爆弾の犠牲者を悼み、永遠の平和を願う式典が各公園で行われます。2つの市の住民だけではなく、多くの日本人が原子爆弾を投下された唯一の国の国民として戦争と核兵器のない世界の実現を願っています。In this paragraph, you may have recognized some of the vocabulary that we went through together earlier in the video, but there may be some other unfamiliar words to you. Are any of these words new? 平和、犠牲者、悼む、永遠、式典、核、唯一、実現。Just a quick note before we move on about 唯一. You'll notice that in hiragana it's 唯一, but the correct pronunciation is 唯一. Okay, let's go back to that paragraph and read it together one more time. 広島と長崎の両方の爆心地は平和記念公園になっています。それぞれ8月6日と9日に原子爆弾の犠牲者を悼み、永遠の平和を願う式典が各公園で行われます。2つの市の住民だけではなく、多くの日本人が原子爆弾を投下された唯一の国の国民として、戦争と核兵器のない世界の実現を願っています。Once we put everything together, this paragraph can be translated as The hypocenters of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki are presently serving as peace memorial parks. On August 6th and 9th respectively, ceremonies are held in each park to mourn the victims of the atomic bombs and pray for eternal peace. As citizens of the only country to be hit by an atomic bomb, not only the residents of the two cities, but many Japanese people hope for a world free of war and nuclear weapons. Now, these are just 3 of many news articles and other media about the atomic bombings that you can watch, read, and discuss to learn more. Some are more graphic than others, and some are geared toward children, some for adults. If you're looking for non-news sources, I'd like to recommend listening to Setsuko Thurlow speak. She's a bilingual hibakusha, a survivor from Hiroshima who lives in Canada today. And if you're visiting Japan, I'd like to recommend the museum in Hiroshima. I've been a few times myself, and it's not easy to go through it, but I strongly believe that it's a valuable experience that you really can't get anywhere else. Thank you for joining me in this first installment of Let's Talk About It in Japanese, 日本語でも話そう, where we talk about a wider variety of topics, including politics and social justice issues not covered in classrooms or in textbooks, in order to empower you as a Japanese language learner to widen your scope of conversation, learning, and understanding. I hope you found today's topic meaningful. Please feel free to share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below and subscribe for more videos to help you fill in the gaps in your Japanese language learning. 最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。また次回お会いしましょう。